I respond that Israel has been committing a genocide.
No, to the point.
That exchange right there tells you exactly what kind of interview this is going to be. A straightforward question about hostages, about people being brought home. And instead of answering it, the conversation is deliberately blown up with an accusation designed to shut everything down. Nick Ferrari immediately senses what's happening and refuses to let the interview drift. What follows is not confusion, not nuance, not complexity. It's a sustained refusal to acknowledge outcomes that don't fit a fixed political narrative. Watch how often a simple question is asked, and watch how often it's avoided.
I refer to, of course, the President of the United States, who was given a Nobel Peace Prize yesterday, sadly, not by the relevant committee, who have already put out a statement saying that they can't simply be transferred. It was a Venezuelan opposition leader who gave President Trump the prize that he is reported to have coveted. But it does bring into a conversation, doesn't it, as regarding the Trumps. Is he good, bad, or ugly?
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. I'm sure if happens, we'll all be very upset.
Well, undoubtedly good. Executions had stopped. But
if we don't go in, Russia's going to go in and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it.
He wants to seize Greenland, and then there's...
You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. You got to be more thankful.
The ugly and angry President Zelensky. So is he good, bad, or ugly? Freddie Gray, deputy editor of The Spectator magazine, editor of its US edition, joins me now. There are people now drawing breath in Iran who can give thanks for that directly to President Trump. But is it all good? Morning to you.
As regards to the Nobel Peace Prize, I think Tom Lehrer had it right in 1973 when he said that satire died when Henry Kissinger was given the award after carpet bombing Cambodia. For Donald Trump, it is obviously farcical, his very vain obsession with the prize. But I think you could make a pretty good case that far more so than Barack Obama, who won it anyway, he does deserve it. I think his biggest achievement last year was obviously Gaza, where he managed to broker a peace deal, and that's now progressing, albeit with some problems. Yesterday, he announced a rather ridiculous-sounding board of peace that will... We'll see how that gets on. But he is committed to peace. He said in New Year, he said, what I want for the world is peace. And he seems intent on achieving it, even if that makes him unpopular. And you played a clip of the Ukraine scene with Zelensky. And I think, while he's had a lot of criticism about sort of cozying up to Russia, about ignoring Ukraine's concerns, and some of it's very justified, he is at least pushing for peace in Ukraine. And I think there are a lot of Western figures who seem perfectly content to let the war just go on and on and on, with Ukraine losing lots of people and slowly losing a terrible war of attrition, whereas Trump is really trying to make moves to solve the conflict. And so, yes, I think we shouldn't get hung up about the bauble that is the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm not sure Venezuela is necessarily a great move for peace. He has essentially taken out one terrible dictator and replaced him with potentially another. So we shall see. We shall see. But I think, yes, he's a pro-peace president. I just don't think we should get hung up on about the Nobel Peace Prize.
But then there's Greenland, Freddie.
Well, Greenland is farcical. But I think there are strong strategic reasons, a lot of it to do, interestingly, with satellites and data as to why America needs Greenland. They have said this for a long time. Military chiefs in America have said this for a long time. And there may be some kind of accommodation. I don't think we can accuse him of being a warmonger on Greenland quite yet, although, of course, the noises he makes are ridiculous and cause a lot of aggravation and noise.
Lastly, the midterms on the horizon. What might that do to the way that he can exercise? Well, let's instead then go to Israel and the fact that many people there, particularly in Israel, believe that they had their hostages, or sadly the remains of their hostages, returned again because of Donald Trump's intervention. How do you respond to that?
I respond that Israel has been committing a genocide.
No. To the point about the return of hostages. Can we address that?
Well, the hostages being returned has not brought an end to the
President, I don't know whether you're... I'm obviously not... Right. Do you accept President Trump was involved in helping secure the return of the hostages? And if you do, that's surely a good thing.
I don't accept that that was a good process. No, obviously
it's not good to get the hostages back.
Hostages were returned. Yes, it is, but it hasn't brought an end to the immense suffering. I'm sorry, I'm allowed to make it a separate point.
Just answer my question first. Let's deal with it chronologically.
I am delighted that the hostages were returned.
And was
I do
President
not
Trump
think that Trump's intervention has been positive within that process in any way.
So President Trump wasn't involved in getting...
And I think that the continued failure of the...
I'm sorry, we'll do it my way. When it's your show... No, we'll do it my way, thank you. Will you accept, and then we'll discuss the other part, will you accept that those returns were because of President Trump's work? Just a yes or no.
No, I think that the returns could have been better achieved.
How?
Through a true peace process that would have involved not funding a genocide against the Palestinian people, which is what Donald Trump did.
I sense that you're one of those people who, even if he was to find a cure for cancer, it would still not be the work of Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has drastically cut cancer research funding throughout the world. So the day he finds a cure for cancer, Nick, I would be delighted for you to bring me on, and I'll say it's wrong.
Why is it that this man excites such opposition in your eyes?
I think it's quite obvious that Donald Trump is bringing authoritarian violence to the streets of the United States, that he is a dangerous warmonger on the global stage, and that he is a representative of the very worst elements of the political situation that the world finds ourselves in. He is a danger to Ukrainians. He is a danger to, frankly, anybody who he decides gets on his nerves that day. And he's a danger to American citizens. He's a danger to the global world order. And I think that the British public can see that incredibly clearly. And it's, frankly, just a little bit jarring to have conversations about whether or not he's a peace bringer.
This wasn't just an interview. It was a demonstration of something much bigger. You heard the same question asked again and again, and you watched it get dodged every single time. When lives were spared, the answer shifted. When hostages were returned, the subject changed. When the question was stripped down to a simple yes or no, the response became refusal. You saw it. You heard it. You felt the hesitation. This is a pattern. Outcomes don't matter if they come from the wrong person. Results don't count if they threaten the narrative. And once that mindset takes hold, even something as basic as freeing hostages becomes impossible to acknowledge. That's why trust is gone. Because if someone cannot admit a good outcome when it's politically inconvenient, they are not engaging with reality. They are defending an identity. And when that same mindset starts questioning elections themselves, that's when it stops being theater and starts becoming dangerous. Not because of one politician, but because of the refusal to accept facts at all. So ask yourself, is this principle or is it obsession? And would you trust people who think like this to make decisions that affect real lives?